Hello, and welcome to Viewpoints, Dominion DMS's video podcast series where we highlight our vendor partners. I'm Sharon Kitzman, president of Dominion DMS, and today we're speaking to Skip Soucy. He's the CEO of the Edifice Group. Skip, welcome.
Sharon, it's such a pleasure to be with you.
Excellent. We're so happy to have you. There's been about, 30 years that you've been working in auto retail. You founded Edifice, and you have a mission to provide car dealerships with marketing solutions that increase sales, not just clicks or impressions. Skip, I spend a lot of money on marketing too, and when I get all the KPIs and see the click-throughs, I think, yeah. I want to see leads generated from those clicks. So tell us a little bit about your business and how it differentiates from maybe some other firms that dealers might be using today.
Well, Sharon, as a dealer, I knew marketing was important for growing my business. And with so many options out there and spending dollars, there was always that lost feeling of what worked and what didn't work. Mm-hmm. That old joke that everybody says, half my advertising works, I just don't know which half. So when I started Edifice in 2005, I wanted to give my dealers, my dealer clients, the option to have a one-to-one attribution in sales on what my marketing accomplished for them. So we designed over the years a marketing platform. It's getting very fashionable now to call it a CDP, consumer data platform, along with an automated elevation marketing platform that takes in digital and email capabilities and automates them. And we're so successful at it that we offer our clients a 4 times return on investment in gross profit, not total revenue, on what they spend with us. We joke at Edifice all the time, we sell dollars for a quarter. And my average client is seeing anywhere from a 6 to 10% times return on investment with their advertising dollars. And that's pretty much what we did.
That's amazing. You slipped in there as a dealer. Yeah. It's one of the things that's unique about your business. You guys are car guys, right? So you can speak the lingo, you can understand their frustrations and the evolving industry that's out there.
Well, as car dealers, we know that there's multiple opportunities. If you think about it, a franchise is awarded in a particular area. So it's a closed marketing space. And one of the things that dealers think about is, how do I get new business? Well, if they only know the dealers that the clients that they've done business with, it leaves out this whole montage of people that have never heard of them. Concomitantly, inside their business, there's past customers, inactive customers, opportunities, cross-sell, upsell. And so that's the knowledge, along with the ability to marry all this consumer data and automobile data and integrate it into a platform so that they can use it with their DMS and CRM data.
That's awesome. Well, I think about all the CRM and other data that you just talked about. And when you say CRM, it reminds me of all the different types of systems that are out there that might be holding data for a dealer, but are hopefully also integrating that data into the DMS. NADA says that on average, a dealer has about 16 different software solutions in their dealership. If you think about myself as a DMS provider and the desire as well as the demand to integrate all of those systems back to the DMS and share data, Is there something that Edifice has experienced with DMS integration that we can learn from? Is there some advice that you might give me?
Well, when you think about the broad software that's out there, our managed CDP enables dealers of all sizes to realize the benefits of targeted consumer data integrated with their DMS and CRM to create highly reachable and performing audiences. And we provide them with a one-to-one attribution. One of the things that we do is we share with our dealers who we're targeting up front and take that all the way, matching that to a transaction. When you think about that, that turns your DMS into a component of a highly actionable marketing engine, because all those records reside in your DMS or their CRM. And I couple that with third-party data to make it very enriched.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Great. It does. It does. If you ever think of another data element that you might want from the DMS, let us know. And as long as we can pass it to you in a secure and legal way, I think our belief is the richer the data that we can supply you, the better the partnership and the more efficient the workflow within the dealership as well.
I agree. I agree.
Excellent. You know, before we started the video, we were talking a little bit about some of the challenges running a business during the pandemic and now after the pandemic. And, you know, our dealers are not immune to any of that, right? They were a retail shop during the pandemic that needed to keep their doors open in a safe way. Then they rolled right into a labor shortage and a chip shortage and an inventory shortage and then a high interest rates and on it goes. When you and your team sit back and think about maybe the future of your marketing platform and how you can continue to make a quarter equal $1 for a dealer, what do you think about it as far as maybe optimizing potential upturns for a dealer or minimizing a potential downturn in our future?
Well, there's a couple of areas, I think, based on our experience when we're looking at this, that there's challenges and opportunities that are going to revolve around three areas in the dealership. One's going to be personnel. The second is going to be inventories that are in constant motion, new and used parts. And the third is going to be marketing. And when you look at that in totality, those are the three biggest expenses. For managing this, we've had tremendous growth success in opportunities in flexing our marketing and service. And what we've seen is that we can impact their average RO. Most of these service departments, when you're talking about service managers, about growing their service business, you'll hear two things. We're at capacity. I don't have enough technicians. I'm 2 weeks out. Well, if you accept that as the only way by bringing more people into their service department of growing their business, there's no answer for that. But there is an answer for increasing their average repair order or average RO. And we've been very successful in doing that. Right. Again, being fluid enough to be a marketing solution for both sales and service allows us to look at the totality of the dealership and realize that there's customer opportunities in inactive customers, recalls. There's customer opportunities in people that are coming up on trade cycles, equity management. There's customer opportunities on people that they don't even know in their marketplace. That's where we come in. And we can't do that without a good understanding of what the consumer in their marketplace has in terms of a relationship with the dealership. And that's where the DMS comes in, where we can see if there's a relationship. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah. And you're right. The labor shortage really, shrunk opportunities in the service drive. But if you can reduce the cycle time of bringing new vehicles in and out of the drive and optimize the time that the vehicle is on the rack, and perform more repairs there while it's in the shop, you can increase the bottom line.
They're going to increase their business that way.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure there are many dealers out there looking at their expenses as well as their marketing dollars specifically and saying, boy, those returns that Skip was talking about sound fantastic. So if a dealer is out there thinking about partnering with Edifice going forward, Skip, how can they get a hold of you? How should they look you up? Point them in the right direction for us.
Well, obviously there's our website. It's edificeautomotive.com. Where they can get in contact with us. My personal contact is skip at edificegroup.com, and they certainly can get in touch with us that way. But my cell phone, and many people don't give out their cell phone, is 770-527-4309. I'd be happy to help you personally. I do have a very qualified staff of account executives that do this, but I'm still very actively engaged in the business. So 770-527-4309. Our office number is 770-277-6555. If you don't want to talk to this old car guy.
Why wouldn't anyone want to talk to you?
I don't understand.
Also, if you're an existing Dominion DMS dealer, you can go to dominiondms.com to our partners page, and all of our vendor partners are listed alphabetically, and you can find Edifice with an E on that site as well. It'll link you directly to their website, and I'm sure, as Skip just mentioned, some of those connections are there also. All right, so this old car guy, Skip, I end all of my podcasts by asking people the same question. We're all in the automotive industry. We live and breathe this industry, for some of us for many decades. Do you have a car story that comes to mind?
I've got many that I can't share. But one that sticks out over the years is when I was a young fellow in the business, and it's a story of humility and perspective. I started in the car business in the 80s. I had a mentor that was a used car manager. His name was Ed Caldwell. He's gone to glory these many years past. But as a new sales manager, I was a new sales manager, and I wasn't a general manager yet. And they'd given me, the dealer wanted me to learn used cars. So back then in the 80s, people went actually to the auction. They didn't do it online.
Yeah.
That didn't start coming to be in fashion until the late 90s. So I was sent to the auction. The auction was a fascinating place, especially for a new car guy. You know, 3 or 4 years in the business. And then this was Red Oak in the outside of Atlanta, about 13 lanes running cars every 30 seconds through, with hundreds and hundreds of buyers. And I bought about 13 or 14 cars that day. And I was so proud of myself. Came back and talked to Mr. Ed and showed him, look at these cars. They're so great. We're going to make a ton of money on them. And Mr. Ed looks at him and says, I got to ask you a couple of questions. And I said, yeah. And I'm so excited. I'm just popping. I want to answer anything. He said, were there a lot of cars there? And I said, oh, there was thousands, Mr. Ed. Were there a lot of buyers? I said, Mr. Ed, there was 13 lanes running, and there was probably 500 or 600 buyers looking at all these cars. Mr. Ed said, so were they older than you? Oh, yes, these buyers, they were a lot of experience. Oh, yes. And he says, so let me understand this. You're very excited about the fact that there was hundreds of buyers that didn't think the cars that you bought were worth as much money as you paid for them. So you won these bids on these cars by paying more than everybody told you they were worth. I was flabbergasted.
Oh, Mr. Ed. Mr. Ed, he's a knowledgeable guy.
Yeah. So there is a perspective involved. One that taught me the humility of thinking about it the other way.
Mm-hmm.
We eventually did sell those cars and we did make some money on it. But one thing that you always have to remember in business is that it always takes a little bit longer. It's more complicated than you think, and it costs you more money. And those lessons are very valuable.
You're right. That's why a lot of businesses fail, right?
Yes.
Oh, that is funny. A mentor of mine once said, I think I had been in the industry about 25 years or so, and he said, Sharon, if you think you know the automotive industry and you've never been to an auction, you don't know the automotive industry. And he was right. He was right. I made it a mission to get to the auction, and it opened a whole new world, or a whole new chapter of this amazing industry for me. Thanks for sharing that, Skip, and thanks for joining us today. We appreciated learning more about the Edifice Group and the Edifice marketing platform, and I'm sure our dealers will benefit from it.
Thank you so much, Sharon, for having us. It's a pleasure working with you.
Oh, thank you. You too.